is really, really tiny. It is so tiny. Hey buddy, I hope it didn't hurt you. Hey buddy. He probably can't hear at all. But he just got lifted up about 20,000 times his height and thrown on top of this thing with a shovel. So I'm feeling pretty bad about that. Oh, it's so tiny. I want you to see this. I like you. I don't want you on my garden though, because I don't want to hurt you. Or I do want you on my garden because you'll be safer over here. Here we go. This part of the garden's fine. I'm not going to be digging up there. Well, it's the 5th of May, Cinco de Mayo, and I went against my original plan of not taking the stuff off the top, and I spent the last hour ripping out the stinging nettle off the top of this thing, all the way from that bush to where you can see where it is. More than likely I will not remove the stinging nettle from the second half or the back side, because I'm not planning on doing anything with that part. But today I've got a friend coming. He's going to help me knock my old poles back into the ground and put up some lattice for hopefully pumpkins to climb while I'm gone. And well, I'll show you what that looks like when I'm done. But in order to plant the pumpkins, I'm going to have to weed this front. I got a hoe that I'm going to have to pull out of a bush someplace and hoe this stuff up. Then plant 1,000 pumpkins and hopefully they'll climb up the lattice that we build today. Anyway, that's what I've got going there. You can see how much work I've done, and you can maybe see all the lumps on my arm from the stinging nettles, because I really got stung a lot, but it really doesn't bother me. I'm kind of used to it, but holy cow, is my forearm really really bumpy, both of them. Anyway, yeah, so on some good news, the pheasants have not knocked the new dirt off of the river mound there, so that's the best sign. And I did rebury a few more of those potatoes I said I wasn't going to rebury, but I reburied them. And I don't really see much that I planted over there growing. The pheasants probably ate it all. And I found one place where probably a hawk had killed a pheasant on the mound, and there were a bunch of feathers, so if it wasn't a hawk, then it was a fox, I suppose. But anyway, yeah, keeping myself busy. Got a lot to do before I leave, and I've only got 2 months to do it before I'm gone. So I started to put up my lattice yesterday, but I'm going to have to buy about 4 rolls of twine to do what I want to do. I'll probably put one more stick up between this log and the tree eventually, and then anchor the last stake down into those stinging nettles past it. But my order of today now is to weed this entire front, in front of there and around to where you can see the sunlight just now, just to this patch, and weed all this off the front, and then spread pumpkin seeds and shovel the dirt from the swale down, or sorry, back up on top of the pumpkin seeds, and hopefully that'll be enough to, well, to get some pumpkin seeds going here, because I need to get some pumpkins growing. I'm only going to plant pumpkins in this front face of the mound and do nothing to the rest of the mound. And as you remember, last year I didn't grow anything here. I just let it get overgrown so it wouldn't erode as much, and it really didn't erode much. The only place I've got a problem is back there where the hogs try to dig up all of that Jerusalem artichoke, and failed because there's Jerusalem artichoke already growing. So I'm a bit late this season to seal the cracks, and so I'll just leave that exposed back there because I'm not going to grow anything back there. So I'll do this front today and plant about 1,000 pumpkin seeds with the hopes of getting about 50 or 60 plants to grow, because I know pheasants and mice and maybe the squirrels will dig up what I've buried. So anyway, this is going to be a much higher lattice. It's going to go to the top of those poles. I can reach all the way to the top of those. So it's going to go at least 8 feet high. Anyway, for now, I just got to get my hoe and start hoeing this stuff. And then I'll get my shovel and shovel it back on top after I spread the seeds. Here's the hoe I just used. I found this on a ridge in sort of a, I wouldn't call it a mountain exactly, but some hills. On the top of the hills were some, let's say, trench lines or foxholes, and there were piled up rocks. There was a whole bunch of barbed wire, and I found this just sitting there on a rock. Probably some metal detectorist had found it and set it on top of the wall of rock because he didn't want it. And I was walking by and I thought, my gosh, I don't have a hoe, and this, I've never seen this design of hoe before. It's like a spade, but it's a hoe. And so I just got an old dead stick here and split the stick in the very top, and I pounded another dead branch in the top to keep it from falling off, and it works perfectly fine. So this old dead branch and the hoe combination works great. So anyway, I've de-vegetated the front side, and you can see there's a lot of vegetation still there, and some's going to grow back up in spots, and that's really not a problem, because my plan really is to probably make 2 lines. One main line here that goes up close to the poles, and a second line halfway down, and if I'm ambitious enough, a 3rd line all the way down. And what that will do is I'll have 3 rows of pumpkin seeds, and I'll have the most I guess exposure. I'll cover the most area that way, because I don't need to have pumpkin seeds everywhere. I just need to have them in the ground and then buried enough that the mice and pheasants can't easily get to them. So in the past I used to just poke holes randomly in the garden and drop pumpkin seeds in the holes, and that worked sometimes. But what I got to do is just plant as many as I can soon. The weather does not look good for me. I would like it to rain immediately, but it doesn't look like it's going to rain for weeks, maybe. At least this whole next week it looks like sunny weather. So I've got to plant these now though, get them covered, and just hope for rain soon. It might rain in the middle of the night, but it's certainly not looking like it's going to rain during any of the days. So anyway, yes, that took about only 15 minutes. Okay, there's already a row right below the posts all the way around, and this is my second row going from here. I'll walk you around. So you can't see where I buried the first row up above. It's up about a foot above and in about another 6 inches. So all you can see now is the second row, and I've got just enough seed left to do the third and bottom row. So probably I'll do that about at this area all the way around. So first of all, I'll go in and I'll bury the second row using the hoe. Then I'll make the third row, plant the seeds, and then I'm done. I'm done planting because I'm only going to plant that today, and I'll buy another 1,000 pumpkins and randomly go through this area again, that mound out there, and the snake mound again, and plant another 1,000 or so seeds, probably amounting to about half a kilo of pumpkin seeds. These were not wetted before I planted them. The next ones that I punch into a hole, I'll just stick a stick in the ground, make a hole, and drop the seeds in. When I do that, I'll make sure that the seeds have been soaked overnight. These ones will just stay dry until it rains. And once it starts raining this summer, it'll rain for weeks, so it'll be enough. And it's not even close to summer yet. By the end of May, these will be sprouting for sure. So anyway, that's how I'm doing it, and that's what I expect to do another 1.5 foot lower. And it's going to be simple as pie. It doesn't take very long to do this. I like the trenching method. Anyway, this hoe was a great find last summer, and I'm glad that I made it, and I just didn't use it until now. Okay, well, hopefully when I come back from America this summer, I'll be back in late August. I hope that I'll have pumpkins climbing up this lattice that I will finish, of course. So that's my plan, and I might even clear out some of this stuff and plant under the tree so I have pumpkins growing up this tree again, because it's a great spot for pumpkins. It just takes a few minutes of hoeing to get rid of all this junk, so I might do that today too. We'll see. So I have seeded this whole front in 3 rows with pumpkin seeds. Like I said, it's probably about 1,000 pumpkin seeds. I did 2 full rows up high and about 3/4 of a row down low. You can actually see where I didn't make it, and next time I come out here I'll just put more seeds there and cover it up, and then I'll be done. But I'll cover it up later with seeds, maybe later this week. In a month and a half I'll have to go to America, and I won't be here, and it will be a big surprise to me what's still growing when I get back. And I really hope by the time I leave there's pumpkins growing here, and I hope they climb up and cover this trellis with pumpkin vines and have hanging pumpkins everywhere, and it'll just be beautiful, just like a few years ago. Anyway, that's my work for the day. It's now about 1:30 p.m. It's pretty hot. The sun's high in the sky, but I've got my little shelter over there. I put an extra bed sheet over the top of it so there would be less sun coming through the sides, and it's nice and dark in that shadow. It's very good to hide, and I'm going to go hide there again now for a while. So, have some pickles and enjoy my afternoon listening to the birds. You can also see a little bit of cottonwood flying in the sky right now. Not very much. Yesterday was stronger, but you can still see it. So a lot of cottonwood flying right now. Anyway, it's a very nice day. Beautiful day.